The webinar is now live. You'll start to see attendees join. Have everybody have a great session.
Thank you. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's just 10:31 actually. We're going to go ahead and get started. This session is really to talk about highlighted topics. We've gotten a lot of requests from PIs across campus trying to understand what this is all about and how we navigate through highlighted topics, which is a different way of thinking about funding opportunities and priorities across the NIH. So hopefully this is informative to you. It's going to be driven by Jamie Kuttner, who is the assistant director in my office, the Office of Research Development and Strategy. So she's going to take us through and hopefully we can understand more about what these highlighted topics are and actually give us go through the details of how you find these and what they mean for your potential funding. Few housekeeping notes. Jamie has built in an opportunity for questions and answers. So we want to make sure we are responding to you all as you have questions as she's going throughout. Please use the Q&A function. I know there's a chat function and a Q&A. The chat is not going to be, it's going to be disabled for communication back and forth. Tula, who's working behind the scenes, is going to provide some links for you as Jamie's going through her presentation, so you can kind of follow along through those links. And then we will be monitoring the Q&A. If you do not see your Q&A function at the bottom of your screen, just scroll over to that More button with the three little dots in it. Click on that, and then the Q&A should be there. And then you can click on the Q&A, and you'll see it then at the bottom of your screen. I think that is all. Hey, Jamie, did I miss anything in terms of housekeeping topics? I think that's about it. And as of note, I'll remind us of this again. We will make sure that the presentation is sent out after, or the slides are sent out after the presentation. There'll be a recording. We'll make sure you have a link to that. And again, that you have a link to all of the web links that Jamie will be sharing. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Jamie.
Thanks, Laura. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. We'll talk a little bit more about the Office of Research Development and Strategy toward the end, but I want to mention at the top that our office is really kind of at its core focused on growing and strengthening CU Institute's research portfolio. And one of those core functions is helping researchers maintain their competitive edge for extramural funding. A very critical part of that work is monitoring the data to identify what challenges and what is changing and what trends are taking place throughout the federal funding landscape, and understanding how changes can have an impact on our scientific community and on proposal strategy. So today, as Laura had mentioned, we're going to be talking a little bit on and breaking down how the NIH is communicating their scientific priorities. So we will be discussing what is happening with the NIH funding opportunities and some trends we were noticing there. We will introduce the NIH Highlighted Topics, why we're all here. We'll walk through a live demonstration showing how to navigate and utilize a resource. After that, we will discuss some practical strategies for moving from a highlighted topic into a competitive proposal. And finally, we'll do a quick review of some available resources to help support you as you navigate utilizing these new highlighted topics. How we got here. One of the clearest trends that we have been seeing is a decline in the number of NIH notices of funding opportunities. The graph here shows the number of NOFOs released each quarter over the last 6 years. And we can see that while there's been a general decline, it's been a pretty sharp decline just this year. And much of this reflects the NIH's attempt to streamline the funding environment and change the way they're communicating priorities. Historically, NIH had often communicated priorities through the release of topic-specific or directed notices of funding opportunities. And these opportunities identified, your specific scientific areas and the dedicated funding to support projects that aligned with them. So now, rather than issuing a large number of topic-specific funding announcements in the last few years, especially this year, as we can see, the NIH has increasingly shifted toward fewer topic-specific RFAs and emphasize utilizing broad funding and opportunities, or those parent announcements. And so we'll talk a little bit about why this transition occurred and how we got to highlighted topics. So the transition and the decrease from the number of NOFOs overall, probably the most important note I want to make this morning is that it does not signal a reduction in available funding. We do anticipate that there is still funding and still funding for priority areas. They're communicating it in a different way than what we're used to. So they're also trying to provide a different pathway for identifying funding opportunities. They're using this shift to also maintain visibility of emerging scientific priorities, these things that are coming up in live time that they can communicate to the scientific community that also will align with the priorities of the ICs across the entire organization. So in order to kind of do all of these things, they really needed a new way of communicating these scientific priorities. And that is how we wound up with these highlighted topics. I thought this was a really interesting quote, and there's kind of a theme here that we will continue through the presentation this morning, that from the NIH itself, it's a way to understand their priorities and start a conversation. So we know that, this is very new and we're still kind of getting a good understanding of it. But what we understand now is it is their new method of communicating their scientific priorities, identifying alignment across the agency while they're still accepting applications through broad parent announcements. Through the information shared in each highlighted topic, they're really encouraging that early engagement with that NIH program officer listed. We'll see that during the demonstration to ensure program alignment. That's that piece of finding the NIH from that quote, finding the NIH priority and starting a conversation. It's also important to understand what the highlighted topics are not. They are not funding opportunities. They do not establish application deadlines. You won't see any eligibility restrictions or discussion on budgets. And also important to note that while alignment with a highlighted topic might be considered during funding decisions, it's not reviewable criteria, and it does not alter the peer review process. So what do they look like? Where do we find them? We're going to walk through a demonstration, but I still wanted you to be able to see where to find these. And Tula has some links that she will drop in the Q&A that you can, if you would like, happy to follow along with me. But this is what it looks like. The NIH maintains a centralized highlighted topic webpage now where it lists all of the active topics. So we'll explore that in the demonstration, but you can visit that link directly. You can also access the new topics by visiting our website or subscribing to our newsletter, Funding Focus, that comes out on the first and third Tuesday of every month. And we highlight the most recently announced highlighted topics as well. So we are going to dissect a highlighted topic really quickly just to give an overview of what it is, why it is, and what it looks like. So the first, right when you open the highlighted topic link, the first thing you'll see is the topic description, which sometimes I've seen it described both ways as the topic description or scientific context. It goes back and forth. This section will really paint that broader picture to illustrate why the NIH considers this topic so important. It just will describe the broader scientific need. It will identify research gaps. And oftentimes, it will even provide specific examples of the types of questions that the NIH is hoping investigators will pursue. And so we're going to think of this whole section as the why this topic matters right now. And for many, this next section will contain probably the most valuable information. Each highlighted topic identifies a lead institute or center, which is responsible for developing and maintaining the topic, along with any participating institutes or centers or offices that have expressed their interest in that area. This participating IC section identifies which institutes are interested in the specific topic, what aspects of the topic they prioritize, whether or not they have special funding considerations, and who the investigators, or I'm sorry, who the program officers are that you can contact. And although multiple institutes may participate in a single highlighted topic, they are more than likely interested in very different aspects of it. So in these sections, you'll see the participating IC, they have their own little write-up, and that will really go into the different scientific questions, the disease areas, methodological approaches they're interested in, to really kind of help you understand why they're interested and where you can find your alignment with them. So under that section of each of those participating ICs, we may see a little green check mark that indicates that there is special funding considerations. We're still learning more about what they mean by this. But what we do know so far is that when an IC states that they will give special funding considerations, what they're saying is that they have dedicated funding available and may give additional consideration to highly meritorious applications that align with that topic during the funding selection process. For ICs that don't have that statement in their section, the highlighted topic is still communicating their areas of scientific interest. They may not have that designated set aside funding. They still may be funding in this area, but that's contingent upon their availability of funds, the number of their meritorious applications, and their other priorities across the IC's portfolio. All of this is really important information and can really inform the basis of some of those questions you can take to the program officer. Is there dedicated funding? What does that mean? How can I align? And we'll get more into that. We're going to move into the demonstration, but I think we've covered a lot of information in a short amount of time. I don't see any questions in the Q&A right now. Oh, yep, I think Laura's got a question.
So just a really quick question for you, and I'm not sure if others share this question, but do we yet know how the highlighted topics are influencing funding decisions?
No, we don't, not yet. And so that is why we will continue to monitor the data and try to identify if there are trends aligning with funding data and the highlighted topics. There's pretty limited information about that. What they are trying to drive home is that the highlighted topics they don't impact the review process, but there's going to be something there where there's, alignment with a highlighted topic can really benefit an application. We're just not sure how or what that means on this end. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Well, it sounds like a good area for us to track some more data.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to shift gears a little bit. And what will happen next is I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to reshare as we walk through our demonstration. Okay. Can we see that? All right. We have just so, as I mentioned, the NIH has a dedicated page now to all of the active highlighted topics and kind of some background on the highlighted topics. So you can navigate this and read up on it. They have a really helpful Q&A. Will probably be very familiar or very similar to what we're discussing here this morning. But I would also recommend you could subscribe, and we'll have these links available for you to email alerts as highlighted topics are added, and those come in once a week. So you get that little digest of the most recently announced highlighted topics. As we navigate this page, it's really helpful the way that they have provided this table. You can navigate this by selecting and limiting the list by IC. As I mentioned, there's always a lead IC, and then there's always your list of participating ICs. So it will automatically filter if you click the IC that you are aligned with. So we have, I just went ahead and clicked the NCI just for example's sake. The nice thing is you can also export the table, whether or not it is filtered or not. So you can kind of look at it in an Excel file and making it a little easier to review them in one big picture, and also may help you identify some patterns there across institutes and what they are participating in. So this is what this looks like. We're going to go ahead and get into one of these highlighted topics by just clicking the title. And this is Enhancing Data Usage and Utility to Advance Biomedical Research. I click this one because it is broad and can cross many different research areas. So you'll see that there's a pretty lengthy list of participating institutes. But right away, we're going to see that topic description. And again, this is where the NIH is providing the backdrop for why they're interested in the topic right now. It provides the language for the broader scientific need in the types of research questions. This one has some really specific examples of their areas of interest. And as we get down into the participating ICs section, that will become even more specific. Those details will become even more specific based off of what the specific ICs are looking for. So as we know, there are multiple ICs interested in this topic, and we find that all of these sections look very different from one another as they are expressing their kind of different scientific interests in this highlighted topic. We'll also notice that there are two of these ICs that have that special funding consideration green check mark. So as we discussed earlier, this signals that this institute may have that funding set aside for this topic and may consider supporting meritorious applications aligned with this topic during the funding decision process after peer review. So one of the things that I appreciate here is that these ICs are providing this direct scientific contact for program officers to encourage that discussion, encourage the conversation. And I know oftentimes when you're in another NOFO what we're seeing is there's often, just the program's general email box, but here we have names and emails. Not all the time. Oftentimes we'll see those specific contacts that you can reach out to. And this is all really extremely valuable as a whole when you're preparing with conversations with those program officers. So we encourage you to review this section before you contact your program officer to lead to a more focused and productive conversation, because you'll be speaking directly to those priorities the Institute has already provided here. So I'm going to move along, and just for the sake of the example, go ahead and click the NCI's site, because after we want to think of this as almost like a workflow. After we find our highlighted topic that we feel strongly aligns, we know that our IC we have a great relationship with is a participating IC. We have some scientific contacts. We just need the funding mechanism there to back us up, so we can find those in one of two ways that we will go over. The first is you can click the link for the ICs directly from the highlighted topic. The NIH rather, now provides these institute level overview pages. And this includes for all institutes and centers and offices, mission information, areas of scientific interest, funding opportunities, notices, highlighted topics, etc. So we can see these, but we're going to scroll down a bit. We'll see the NCI specific highlighted topics here. And then we'll have the opportunity to find the open funding the NCI is participating in. We can click that. And what's helpful is if you do that, this table of open funding opportunities is already filtered by the NCI as a funding organization. But we know with highlighted topics, at least, that they are encouraging those submissions through the broad parent announcements. So if we want to, you could go through this list to find those broad parent announcements, or you can use the advanced search here, and you can select the parent announcements from the funding opportunity type. So this will help us, as you could maybe see in my background, it automatically shifted. This will help us further filter down this list by participating ICs, the NCI, and these are open funding, open parent announcements. So just to continue with our example here, I'm going to go ahead and click through. We'll see the parent R01. We're all pretty familiar with that one. So we'll open this. And this is the simplergrants.gov. These automatically open here first. This is kind of like your overview of the funding mechanism, brief description, brief overview. And if you scroll all the way down, for all of these, you'll have that full announcement. And this has all of the details. This should look very familiar to us all. And you can navigate this and really figure out if this is the right mechanism for you. Another opportunity, say you aren't sure what IC you would like to work with, and you just want to navigate the highlighted topic or the open funding, you can do that just by this site and just not selecting a funding organization. But you still can select the parent announcement under funding opportunity type and find those parent funding announcements. Does anybody have any questions? If you have any questions about navigating this site, I have one.
Yeah, there is one, Jamie, and it's more around how do you sign up for that newsletter and I think the question is referring to those highlighted topics. And I think that goes back to that one of those first pages you were on.
Yes, so we can do that. I can just walk through that very easily, really quickly. You go back a few slides to the kind of that home page highlighted topic. And if you want to click down here, you can subscribe here, and you can also put your information in, and then you can select which IC or office you are interested in, and you kind of get those pushed, or you can just sign up for all of them.
And
And you
I
get
think that
that.
Tula just sent that email out through the chat, or that, not the email,
Oh,
the
great.
link through the chat. So everyone should have that now.
Great. Thank you. All right. I'm going to go back, shift gears again really quickly.
While you're doing that, Jamie, it's certainly, as you present it, it's a bit of a journey to get to what the opportunity might be, and is definitely a shift in how we've looked at funding before. So I appreciate you sharing that. When you got to the screen of the actual funding opportunity, I finally felt like I was somewhere that I recognized.
Yeah, it felt like home.
It did, and it's quite a few steps to get there, but appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to, can you see this now? Just want to make sure everybody can see. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you. So we've got done a lot of information gathering at this point. And so now we can explore what additional resources can help us kind of put this all together before we begin writing. Existing resources, we will always encourage some utilization of NIH Reporter, which can help you identify recently funded projects. You can kind of get an idea of what's been funded in a specific topic area or a specific IC, what's being prioritized across IC portfolios. You can also search by program officer to see kind of what their portfolio looks like. Our Office of Research Development and Strategy can also support you in many different ways. But for the purpose of our conversation here, I want to highlight that we can consult one-on-one on how to navigate and utilize highlighted topics. It's similar to what we're doing this morning, but a little bit more in-depth and detail. And we can even provide lists of highlighted topics that are relevant to specific search areas. Our funding landscape dashboard can provide that intelligence on institute portfolios and success rates, and can help identify, if you do not have an existing relationship with an IC, identify that appropriate IC that may fit your research, and identify additionally those program officer contacts that are going to be especially important here as we navigate highlighted topics. So one of the most valuable aspects, as I mentioned, is that they are really intentionally identifying the scientific contacts and encouraging investigators to initiate a conversation. As in an RD office, we will always encourage investigators to make engagement with program officers as early in the proposal development process as possible. And this conversation will help you better understand your programmatic fit, will give you the opportunity to socialize your alignment with the Institute's priorities and the program officer's portfolio and the highlighted topic you've identified. And will also help you determine with them the most appropriate funding mechanism. And that's where that participating IC section becomes really valuable. And we feel that investigators who get the most value from interactions with program officers are those who come prepared with that understanding, that familiarity of the connection between their science and the IC's priorities, but that can be further clarified through these conversations. So we encourage you to, come with questions and really get to know that program officer and establish that relationship early. So when we feel, we're confident in our alignment and we have that clarification, incorporating that feedback and demonstrating that alignment throughout our proposal once we're ready to write is going to be really important. So we can't assume that the reviewers or even the program staff that we have spoken to will automatically make those connections. We have to really demonstrate throughout the proposal that your science is really addressing an NIH priority. So where we are recommending that we can do that, where we can include that connection between your science and the highlighted topic, is in the specific aims page, where you can use that to clearly communicate how your project addresses the scientific need identified in the highlighted topic. That topic descriptions can be really important here for the specific aims and the significance section, where you can connect your proposed work to the broader research gap that exists and the scientific opportunity described by that topic description. Anywhere there's an impact statement, this can make it really easy for reviewers and program staff to understand why this project matters and how it can contribute to an area of scientific importance. And we are going to say, when appropriate, let's use our personal statement in the bio sketch. Use that to demonstrate how your specific expertise in your previous work has related to that alignment and can strengthen your alignment. We feel very confident that investigators who have an understanding of highlighted topics, those that engage with program staff early and can feel they can demonstrate that alignment, will really be better positioned to compete in a very evolving funding environment. As I mentioned at the top, there's a lot of unknowns about highlighted topics, but our office will continue to monitor the data and trends to get a better understanding of how the NIH is utilizing these highlighted topics. And we will continue to communicate our findings and how to use them to maintain that competitive edge. I will close with just reemphasizing these existing resources available to support. If you would like assistance navigating highlighted topics, you can absolutely reach out to me, and I'd be happy to do that with you. To explore that funding landscape dashboard, identifying institute alignment, helping prepare conversations with program officers. We have Haley Sissel that you can reach out to. And then those resources, we have shared the links to the highlighted topic web page where you can subscribe, view the FAQs, and our own web page where we have many different tools and resources. And you can also subscribe to our Funding Focus newsletter that comes out twice a month and shares a lot of different information, especially highlighted topics. So I have a couple of questions, so I will take a look at that.
I think we've answered the questions that are in the Q&A.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, gotcha.
The latest one that came in was really understanding, how do we address or make sure that our proposal incorporates that information? And you did cover that in one of those
Great.
last slides. So this was really helpful, Jamie. I think a lot of good information. Appreciate the demonstration. I think one of my takeaways is, like you said, we've always said, connect with your program officer early on. It seems like more than ever, it's that much more important as we're trying to navigate this kind of new funding landscape and still kind of unsure of how NIH is really awarding proposals. So we certainly will keep an eye on that, and we are monitoring various metrics around that. So maybe there'll be another town hall to discuss those metrics as we're monitoring them and hopefully can glean more information. So doesn't look like any other questions are coming in, but if there are, please post them, and we'll make sure we answer them. Just want to recap in closing that we will send out this presentation. It will be recorded, so that link will be sent out as well. And if you have any questions, really, Jamie's your person to go to. So we appreciate your time this morning and reach out if you need anything.
Thank you.
Thanks.